Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Divine from Keeping Up with Divine. Thank you for coming back if you are a return subscriber. Thank you for coming if you're new, and welcome. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for content every Wednesday and every Sunday, 6 p.m. UK time. So today I'm back with more business content for you guys. If anyone knows me and knows my channel, you'll know I love a good business and I love a good business chat. I've taken the opportunity to find another entrepreneur to interview for you guys, as you loved it so much when I did Business Fridays. I hope you enjoy this video. Without any further ado, let's get straight into it.
When I make a meal, 95 when an option. In the field, they kind of run out of options. She always complain like she not see me often, but often I'll be old.
So I have a special guest for you today, and would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so first things first, Divine, thank you for having me on your show. I've seen, I've had the opportunity to see content, your previous content in this matter, and I've actually been a fan, so to actually be here and feature, that really does make me happy. So guys, my name is Franklin, 27 years old, and I am the co-founder of ATRIO FX. So ATRIO FX is a financial services company based around trading. So as a financial services company based around trading, we offer three things. Number one, Forex education. So how do you actually learn how to trade? Number two, we offer signals. So when you're learning, how can you actually learn and make money? So we'll give you the instructions of what to buy, what to sell, where to buy, where to sell it, where to get involved, where to get out, so all of that. And that really helps you for what you're going to be doing for your own self later on down the line, once you've figured out how trading actually works. And then number three, which I think is what really differentiates us and our competitors, is that we offer you a service called funded account. So a funded account is basically an opportunity of when you can get funded by an investor. So it's an opportunity for you to actually trade a much larger account size. So for example, your own personal account could be up to 10,000, right? But an investor is willing to give you up to $1 million, right? So if you're looking at percentage wise, if you were to make 1% of 10,000 and 1% of $1 million, the difference is quite a lot.
It's a big difference, yeah.
And that's usually what enables traders to make enough money to actually put away their normal job and actually trade full time.
Let's take it all the way back. When did you decide you wanted to start a business?
2 years ago. I think I started the whole self-help thing about 2 years ago, and I stumbled onto a man called Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I'm aware that this is a book that a lot of you have read. If you haven't, go find it. It has the profound impact of changing your life as it has mine, which is why I'm here today. One of the reasons why I'm here today. Shout out to my parents. So I've always been interested in money and making money. So coming across that book, one of the things that I learned was that it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you can keep. And I think when you just think about money and money alone, you think the more I earn, the more I have. But that's actually not the case, especially when you take into consideration the whole taxing system and so on. So in that book, it says it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you earn. How much money you keep, right? So one of the ways in which you can keep money is by basically not having to pay a lot of tax, because tax is a scheme or a way or a method that can be used to kind of take money away from you and so on, which is a great thing because taxes do amazing things. But if there is a way in which you can have, I think, a more profound impact and still have more money, then why not do it, right? Because it's out, that option is there available for you. So one of the ways in which that is possible is by you opening a corporation or running a corporation. When I came across that, I was like, okay, now I have an incentive to start a business, or this is something that I can do because it benefits me and my interest of having money. So that was a reason. But I think a bigger reason was, how do I share what I have? I've always been a person that gives, right? I've always been a person that's interested in others doing well, as well as myself. And I experienced, and even the start of ATRIO FX and how it kind of started, it really did start as a complete free service, right? So when I figured out that one of the best ways that I could give something is by increasing the quality, and as a result of that, I'd be able to reach more people and have a bigger impact, having a business made a lot of sense. And of course, passion to do what you really want, to be your own boss. We all have those dreams, but do you know how to do it, or do you have the right people around you how to do it? So when I finally had that information, starting a business was a no-brainer.
So you say your business is in trading. Did you study that? Do you have a degree?
I have a degree, yeah. So I went to, some of your viewers might recognize me. So I went to Staffordshire University. I did a computing degree. So I have a 2-1 degree in computer networking and security. So my current full-time profession is in that area, in that sector. But I had a much bigger interest in trading and making more money.
Why trading?
So trading for me offers three things. Freedom of money, meaning you can make as much money as you possibly can, or no, as much money as you possibly want, depending on your skill. So the amount of money that I make is dependent on me and me alone. So that accountability of where I'm only accounting on me, I really like that. And of course, money. And there's a lot of money that can be made. One of those ways is she clearly loves money.
I like the sound of that.
One of those ways is working with investors, right? Same way as bankers do, and so on. But also time, right? The freedom that you have is incredible around time. You don't have to be anywhere at a particular time. You don't have to be anywhere for a particular time. You really can do what you want. And I don't think anybody really loves being told what to do, or you should be here, you should be there. So I think a lot of us value that, so time. And then last but not least, location. I love traveling, and trading is one of those things that you can do around the world. You only need 2 things, right? As me and you previously had a conversation earlier, you need a laptop and an internet connection. Now those 2 things can be accommodated anywhere around the world. I say anywhere, but let's say 90%, right? It feels like anywhere because I haven't been somewhere where I haven't had that yet, because my laptop is with me, my internet is. You can get internet through your phone, so just hotspot. So it's been really useful, and it's easy. Everywhere I've traveled, I just take my laptop.
So from the second you decided, okay, cool, I want to start a business, what did you do next?
Well, first of all, just understanding, what it takes to actually start a business. And I think in the beginning, there's almost this sense that there's so much to do. Right, but there's so much information out there. There's so much. One of the best things you can do is read. Right, and I think you've all heard this, so I'm not going to try and talk. I want to repeat it, but I'm not going to emphasize it so much. Is that leaders are readers, right? That everything that you can possibly want to learn about, to an extent, is in books. And I think the more you read, the more you will realize that a lot of the things that you need are in books. It just depends what book you're reading. So reading is a really big thing. And once I started to do that, all the answers that I was looking for were right in front of me. Right. So one of the individuals that I really read a lot about is obviously Robert Kiyosaki, the whole Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And if you're an entrepreneur of any type, not just real estate, any type, read that. Right. Because what I find from books is not exactly what to do, but the template of how to run a successful business. Right, and then you can take that template to actually add your own information, because the template, the process is the same, but the individual steps might be slightly different, but the overall process is the same. So I have this saying of where whatever you do, the process is the same, but the equation is different. So for example, one of the things that I teach my guys in trading is keep the process the same. And the process is the most important part, because that's where you find consistency. If your process is correct, you're almost guaranteed to having the correct results. When you're reading these books of individuals that have been really successful, you will realize that their process is exactly the same. So that's one of the things that I learned. And then I was like, okay, cool. I can now do this, just by following that process / template. So Richard Kiyosaki, Jeff Bezos, of course, right? Bill Gates, absolutely. And then also try and find individuals that are around your own space. Right, because I think that's really important, because they'll be able to give you the specifics that you need, but everything is in books, absolutely. And of course, if you have friends that are in the same space, I think I'm fortunate, and I think we've spent this weekend with our circle talking about and being really thankful. And the thing that we were being thankful the most is that we're so fortunate to have such a circle.
Yes.
Right, because we can go back and forth, we can exchange so much, and there's been so much assistance in the circle. Is absolutely incredible. So friends, books, but everything you need is online. we're now at a point of where it's a digital age. Information has never been easier to access. So there's absolutely no reason why you can't have something. There's absolutely no reason why you can't, find out something. It's just whether you want it or not.
Obviously, in this day and age, we hear about a lot of unproductive things that young black men are getting into, and we hear a lot about their criminal activity. What do you feel like set you apart from that?
I'm gonna go back to the term fortunate, because I think that plays a big part. And I think everybody's fortunate. It's just whether you can realize it or not. So I also want to go a little bit into explaining the product of your environment. So we are all, as human beings, and the way our mind works is that we are a product of our environment, in a sense of, based on our environment, we are going to be certain things, or we're more likely to be certain things. So if you grow up in an environment where there's a lot of abuse or there's a lot of crime, you're going to pick that up. That's going to be part of who you are. Or it's going to be, or there's a high likelihood, there's a high likelihood of that being a part of who you are. And I think it's unfortunate for some that they have not been able to, or they've been exposed to only one type of environment. As a result, that's all that they have. Myself, I've been in environments of where there are negative things, but I've also had the opportunity to be in environments where there are positive things. So I've had the opportunity to kind of see both things, or experience both environments, and then choose what I wanted. And unfortunately, some people don't have that, because the moment you have an idea of what you want, you can then you almost have a process to, or you have factors or variables in which you can filter things out. So I want to be here. Is what I'm doing now helping me to go there or not? Right. If it is, then you go with it. If it isn't, then you're like, maybe not.
I once read something that was along the lines of, if you want to hide something from black people, put it in a book. Would you make of that?
It's correct.
I think so. Absolutely.
And our community, again, we face so many challenges, and I think our starting point is negative compared to white people or people of other race, and our communities don't help us with that. But it's crazy, because they can't. You can't teach something that you don't know, right? Because you don't know what you don't know, and this is where, at some point, you as an individual must really take responsibility, because there's to an extent, your parents can only teach you so much, right? So we've also got to get away from saying, I'm not in the right place, or I didn't grow up in the right family, or I'm not surrounded by the right people. Like I said before, this is an age of information, right? Whatever you want, right, you can get. Information-wise, whatever you want. I often say to my students, the only difference between you and anybody else is information, and it's never been easier to get information. So I think if we stop if we stop at looking at all the things that are going wrong, we can actually focus and channel our energy towards the right things, and as a result of that, get the right results. But I think if I had to put it down to one thing, is that we don't want it enough. I think everybody can find a moment in their life of where they've truly wanted something and they've got it.
You guys see me in a Range Rover next year, you know what happens. Throughout the course of you having started a business, have you experienced any sort of financial hardship along the way? If so, how did you deal with that? If not, how did you not?
So financial hardships, I'm very tempted to say no.
Because most people, when they talk about starting a business, they're on about, I was so broke, and
Yeah, so I'm very tempted to say no, but of course there's been. But I'm very tempted to say no because my perception of hardships is different. So if you have a positive perception on the challenge that's in front of you, you're first going to think positively about it. Okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn. This is an opportunity for me to discover something. This is an opportunity for me to connect with a particular person, or find out something about a particular thing. And as a result of that, you have a positive feeling, right? Of where there's excitement, there is, or just looking forward. And as long as the feeling is not negative, it might not be extremely positive, as such as excitement, but as long as it's not negative, then you're good. So, and as a result of that positive emotion, you will have a positive you will take positive action. Our thoughts drive our emotions, our emotions drive our actions, and then our actions deliver results. So because I've got such a positive perception on things, I don't see things as hardships. It's for me, it's always an opportunity to learn something. Have I had financial hardships? Yes. But when I have had them, I've then gone back to see how did this person get through this. I'm finding solutions from what I have read previously. And if I haven't got it, I know where to get it.
I must say, in the time that I've known you, I've noticed that whenever you're around a group of people that you maybe don't particularly know, you're always networking, like you're always talking business, and trying to figure out who's about it and what have you. Why do you do that, and how do you do that, and what do you gain from that?
Well, I have everything to gain and absolutely nothing to lose by knowing who you are, what you do, or what you're good at, what you're not good at, and overall just what are your interests. So networking is really key. I mean, it was something that I wasn't good at, or I wasn't quite keen on in the beginning. But when there's a saying that says your network is your wealth, or something like that. But I never understood that. But when you know a lot of people, you have access to a lot of information. Because yes, information is in books, but at the same time, information is also in people's minds. You never know how that person can help you. Right? I'm meeting you for the first time. I don't know what's brought us together. I never know why somebody's around me. Right? So I always try and make the best of that opportunity, because it's always an opportunity. Opportunities surround you, they surround you at all time, whether you're aware of it or not. Right? So I try and make the most out of that opportunity if I can. And a lot of the times it's led to some great things. And sometimes it's just turned into a friendship, or it's just turned into a very short conversation, which is absolutely fine. But for me, I now know you. So for example, I now know you, and all the things that you can do, I now have access to. Right? Whereas I didn't before, and I wouldn't have if I didn't introduce myself to you and have a conversation with you, build that friendship. And again, a great source of solutions are your friends. Right? You might not always have time to pick up a book and read, but you might have time to pick up a phone call and ask a question. The amount of times I've spoken to you or Terrell regarding my business and what I can do and how I can improve it, incredible, right? And this weekend, so we've all spent the weekend together, and I gave out a really short testimony regarding some of the issues that I was having with my website. And the last time I was over here with these guys, I spent about maybe half an hour talking to Terrell. And out of that, I got so much. Out of that, I was able to find like 3-4 solutions of what I could do. And one of the reasons why I was able to launch one of the free services that was launched a few days ago was because of that one conversation.
Just to let you know, by the way, guys, if you're looking to learn how to trade or anything of that nature, all his details will be down in the description. The website will be there, so you can check it out and get on there. Sorry to disturb you, but to let you know, guys, the information is there, and he's willing to share it with everybody.
Absolutely. So yeah, network is really important.
Where do you find the confidence to network with people you don't know? Because I know that people struggle with that. They want to network. Absolutely, that's not the issue, but it's that going over and saying hi and asking the questions.
Yeah, we'll go back to perception and the mindset. So, and of course, guys, the mindset is absolutely everything. And it's so unfortunate that we're not taught enough about it, but do not let that be an excuse. Go read, go do something, go watch something. There's so much great content out there. And if you're finding yourself it's difficult for you to do those things, I can tell you right now exactly what your problem is. Your problem is you don't want it enough, right? Because the moment you want something more than anything else, nothing else matters, right? Absolutely nothing else matters. Again, go back and look at your obsessions and all the crazy things you did, right? If you were to do them again now, without that obsession, you might not feel comfortable doing it. So, do you recognize, again, perception? Have you perceived that is an opportunity? Have you perceived that you have everything to gain? Because the moment you focus on the positives, you are more likely to carry out positive action. So what you actually feel is an indication of what you're focusing on. So at any moment of time of where you're feeling negative, it means at that moment of time you're focusing on negative things. Right? So, and guys, that it's happened to everyone. Again, you're not the first person that has not had the confidence to go and talk to somebody. And to an extent, I don't have the confidence to talk to every single person. For example, if I meet somebody who's really high up, let's say you meet a CEO or you meet somebody who's a vice president of something, of course there's that bit of pressure because this person has so much compared to you. But again, you only really realize that pressure because you're focusing on that. But if you're focusing on, you know, what you can get out of it, or, you know, or the advantage that you have of having that conversation, all of anything negative is just out of the way, and you won't realize it. So change your perception, change the way you look at things, and always focus on the reason why that person would want to talk to you. Right? Always focus on what you can share, and of course, the more you have, the more you're actually building upon yourself, the more you can share with others. So again, that brings it back to yourself. What do you have to give, right? And so if that can then put you in a mindset of where you're focusing on increasing what you have to give.